Thanks, BT. With us now is Sylvia Goh, Managing Director of Liquid Thread China, Mark Heap, Managing Director China of PhD, and Olaf Lassell, Global Managing Director of Newcast. Gossip Girls and shows like that in the West has been really popular in China. Why are they so popular here?
Well, actually, to be honest, I mean, shows like Gossip Girls are famous and popular all over the world. It's not only in China, like they are popular all over the world, just like in Germany. For instance, we have like lots of US formats in Germany, just like Dr. House or other formats, CSI, for instance, like Miami and New York CSI and whatever. So they're popular all over the world. It's mainly because like the US is dominating the movie making industry since like the World War II or whatever. So actually they are really good in high quality. They're attracting like all the stuff from like all the experts and scripts and directors and all this kind of stuff. So actually it's mainly everywhere. Same in China.
What about Korean shows and Japanese shows? They really resonate amongst the Chinese audience. Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, like, as far as I know, and I'm not so long in China, as you might know, it's like Korean formats are a little bit different than the Chinese formats. I guess like Korean formats are more like attracted to, well, let's say, even if I'm saying like a cliche, more to housewives. I mean, like the formats are more slower in their content, in their flow. They're more even, well, I would say like even more romantic than the Chinese formats. So yeah, that's why they're attracting so much audience, and especially like the mid-aged housewives. During their daily work, they're showing these formats.
That's very interesting because a US-based company is actually producing a localized Gossip Girl set in Shanghai. Do you think it's going to be a popular one?
It's hard to tell because actually, if I'm not wrong, Hunan Satellite is actually going to air it. So if they actually put in the right mix of Supergirl again, Happy Boys, or like the Heartthrobs of Asia, it might be quite okay. But I would have to say that you will never be as good as like what is done in the West, especially with Gossip Girls. The quality of luxury, the quality of the fashion, is quite difficult to replicate here. Yeah.
Mark, would you recommend such a show to your clients?
I wouldn't know. Partly because I think one of our main competitors is involved with it, but also I respectfully disagree with my panelist's comment that I don't think the likes of Hunan and PSTV have got any problem producing quality productions now. And I think it's interesting in the last few years they've been working a lot with overseas production houses and overseas networks to train their staff on how to not only produce shows but how to market them. So I don't see that as a big problem. What I do see, the reasons that I wouldn't recommend it would be that I think the Chinese viewers will just see it as a copycat. You know, the original series has already gone to air, and I think that will take a lot of the wind out of its sails. And secondly, I think if it's going to air on main TV, on free-to-air TV, the whole SAFT ruling on the content, I think, makes it very difficult for a lot of overseas shows. So particularly some of the riskier content on shows like Gossip Girls or Sex and the City, where there are different cultural values, and the government doesn't really want some of those promoting so so overtly. And that's why I think it will need to be toned down somewhat, which will probably lose its edge a little bit. But I don't think it's necessarily to do with the production values.
Olaf, what's your opinion on this?
Actually, I have to agree. I'm sorry for that, but I have to agree. I wouldn't recommend this show in advance to our clients as well. What I would do is work very closely together with a production company, to be very close in contact with them, seeing, okay, what's the advance of the format and of the show. Trying to see, okay, which of our clients can be integrated into the show, what kind of progress we can make with the client, and how we can change the format and the structure of the format maybe. That would be like okay for us. But right now, I mean, like, as you said, I mean, like, it's always a matter of like copying. And as far as I know, like, if you can imagine like High School Musical, like a few years ago here in China, I mean, like, it was a huge flop. although like High School Musical was a great success all over the world, the original one. So like, I guess like the Chinese consumer or the audience will be kind of being betrayed, feeling betrayed about like the copy. They want to see, or they have already seen the original one, and they feel cheated. And so in a way, if you copy it like one-to-one, it won't be a success in China. And actually, you don't have to copy it one by one. Actually, I guess like the Chinese scripts and like directors are so well advanced that they can do a show on their own.
I think there's, you know, it's about authenticity as well. So it's not just about adapting it, but I think, you know, the viewers, the overseas culture that pervades in these shows, like the American or the European, albeit Korean culture, it pervades in those shows, and viewers know that that's set in the States or in Europe or in Korea, that it's not China. It doesn't mean to say that it's not good entertainment, but then if you try and replicate that, then unless it fits with what's going on in the viewers' lives and they can relate to it, I think that they'll get that this just doesn't, you know, it's a square peg in a round hole.
So what is it, sorry?
No, so it just, I think that it then loses it because it's not, it loses that authenticity that, yeah, but this doesn't happen in China. People don't lead this sort of Sex and the City lifestyle or whatever it is, or entourage. You know, that's not what happens in China.
So what does it really take to produce a local show that's of high quality, provide really superior viewing experience for the consumers, but also good options for advertisers?
I think I would have to agree with Mark because relevance is very important to our audience. You have to see who you're talking to and who you're engaging with. So we have been talking a lot about drama formats, but there are a lot of cases like reality shows or variety shows that work, or like China's Got Talent is so big in China, but it's not 100% British Got Talent or Americans Got Talent. So Starcom works with Mediacom on that, and we do the planning as well, and it's a great success. It's like 3 seasons, going to 3 seasons, and you know, it's not the same, but the viewers, the participant, find it relevant because they can actually be a star overnight. They have this dream. So this dream is cultivated among the Chinese, that you can be a farmer, but you can be a superstar next week, like Susan Boyle, who was nobody, right? So this inspired them. This actually gave them a lot of encouragement to participate. But the entire mechanism, the entire show, is not 100% British Got Talent or America's Got Talent. So we have to actually find a common route and to find a way to engage with our audience and consumers.
In September, actually, Chinese government banned a show called Supergirl because of its overrunning its time slot. But actually, the real reason behind it is really Chinese government wanting less entertainment on local TV channels, but more sort of promoting on the moral ethics and etc. What does it mean for advertisers who want to reach consumers through entertainment?
Well, actually, if you have a totally different format, like instead of having like entertainment formats, having like, well, I would call it like, okay, educating formats, not mentioning something else, you're reaching a totally different target group. So actually for our clients, it's a totally different view to the format. So actually we have to find new content. And for our client, especially like in the ZO group, Zenith Optimedia group or Newcast group, we have a lot of like high luxury clients, and they're looking for high quality content. So we have to provide it. And right now, as far as I can see, like from the Chinese formats I've seen so far here, is that we have not so many high quality formats. So actually, our clients are really keen on having these high quality formats. So in my point of view, it would be maybe a good way for the Chinese production companies to work closely together with US production companies. Just like everybody else is doing it in other businesses, just like in the industries, for instance, like car manufacturers. So the Chinese industry is working together with American companies. Why don't they do it like in production companies, you know? Learn from each other. And the Chinese people are so good in learning from foreign companies. So actually, I would guess if they're working closely together with these companies and sharing their expertises, then you have a great value of high quality formats in Chinese markets. and then our advertisers will be attracted to these formats.
I have to agree with that because I think a lot of satellite TVs are really buying original formats right now, and they are really, really investing, putting in high quality content, production value into the show. So China is about, thinking beyond, pushing the envelope, testing the water every season, every quarter, be a good, obedient corporate citizen, and then you try to push that, right? So like what Olaf said, it's all about how you kind of push the edutainment value in the show. So for Liquid Thread, we work with Wrigley, and it's a variety show on Zhejiang satellite right now. It's the 4th largest satellite in China. The whole variety show evolves around edutainment. Double does not need awareness anymore. It's not about placing chewing gum on the show. It's more about creating a movement. So a lot of brands, our client, we try to instill in them in creating a movement, engaging your consumer, engaging your audience. So in the show, we actually talk, the games are designed in such a way that it brings out the chemistry with the 4 big relationships that the brand is trying to push, like family values, friendship, your college mate, your team worker at work. So it's very, very highly cultured. It creates value. It gets people to get closer with your loved ones. So, but it's still entertaining. So, and it's now the number 8 show in China amongst all the satellite TV stations. So it's how to think out the box and how to push the envelopes.
What's your prediction for media budget spending in China involving branded content this year comparing to last year, Mark?
Well, it's going to increase, and one of the reasons will be related to the question you asked previously. The government regulations, not just this latest one, but it's been for a few years now that they've been tightening up on the reality shows. And I think it's having a counterproductive effect. I disagree that it's just about, or I think there's an additional factor other than cultural. And I think it's to protect the revenues of the CCTV stations. But the reality is that what's happening is it's just pushing people online. So yeah, it is going to increase the inflation in the marketplace because the money is still flooding into China, but there's going to be less ratings to sell, so the inflation will be high. So it will seek agencies like the ones we work for and the clients we represent to look elsewhere, and there is great programming variety available, there's niche audiences, and there's lots of things you can do elsewhere. So yeah, the areas of branded content, online video, and many more will continue to increase next year.
How do you think the consumers will react to it with more and more product placements and branded content?
Well, actually, first of all, we have to agree on that because we're all working on branded content. So actually, if we're not saying that it will increase in the next years, so our companies will be needless. So actually, yeah, sure, definitely we have to agree on that. It will increase in the next few years. What about the consumer? I guess as far as I know from the European market, and I guess you can adapt it to the Chinese market, the consumer and the target audience is not so stupid, not seeing when you have a product placement put just in front of the camera saying okay, this is a great product, and the host, or just like you saying, okay, Coca-Cola is a great product, you have to use it, then it's stupid. You have to do it in a very, very sensitive way. Just putting it in, so it actually enhances the format and the content of the show, and vice versa actually. So it has to fit together. So the product and the format has to fit together. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to have product placement or branded content.
Sylvia, do you have anything to add?
Well, Vivaki, actually, our mother group actually did a prediction last year that branded content is going to actually move up to 1.5 billion by year 2015. I think it's very conservative. Everything is beefing up now. Just online video alone is 31.5% this year, July, based on emarketing.com. So it's on the winning streak, and absolutely we, like what Olaf said, functionality of the product placement is very critical. And for us in Liquid Thread, we believe in holistic integration. So you're a storyteller. You're telling people how great is Coca-Cola, by engaging the emotion with Coca-Cola, because we all know Coca-Cola is a great drink, right? So you don't have to just put Coca-Cola right in front of you and end of the story. So it's how do you build a story around it, and how do you engage the consumer to participate together with you? This is what we are after.
Do you see great potential for a multi-platform play to really succeed in China?
Yes, they already are.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you give me some specific examples?
Well, we're currently in our second season of a show called Unbeatable that we do for Unilever with one of their brands, Clear. And I think that show, it's been very successful. We won Cannes Lion for it this year. And it's so successful because it's been, first of all, it takes, not months but years of planning. It's built around, an incredibly strong core theme. And then the show is completely built from the bottom up around the brand. So it's definitely not a case of just product placement. And in terms of distribution, it has gone to air last year. It went on 6 PSTVs, but also on 6 of the leading video sites. So it's also, we had character microblogs, we had, all these different elements to it. And it's when you add up the sum of those parts that things really start to work, very strongly, and taking it right through to point of sale. So, for the good examples, it's definitely already happening.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely it's happening. I mean, it's already there. And actually, like in a few years, I will predict that nobody really cares about multi-platforms, because nobody is really caring about if you see a content on the TV screen, on an iPod, iPad, mobile phone, whatever, nobody cares. Content is the most important thing in a few years. Nobody cares about like where it's going to be distributed or broadcasted or whatever. So yeah, right now, actually, just like, I guess, like all of us, when we are presenting ideas to our clients, even like TV is right now still the major media channel, and like the most of the money is going to TV. We're not suggesting or recommending like just one media channel. We're suggesting like having the idea, the concept distributed and put in all the different media channels, because you have like so many different target groups. And like, look at the consumer. I mean, the consumer during the day, he's using his PC. At night, he's using his cellular phone, his mobile phone or whatever, and maybe afterwards he's going to the cinema, or he's like watching the news and he's going on the internet or whatever. Like, he's using so many different channels, media channels. So we have to have like one idea adapted to all the different media channels. That's very, very important for us. So like none of our presentations are only having like one media channel in it.
Especially 2015, where China is going to total digitization. 三网合一 is inevitable. So right now it's just the struggle between SAFT and Ministry of Industry for information. So who wins the war? But then at the end of the day, this is going to happen here in China. It's like, multi-screen. So like what we did for Weekly Double Mean, first season on Jiangsu satellite, the second biggest satellite, just Youku alone was 60 million hit. So, and it's part of the KPI that we have to deliver for our clients, all multi-screen, it's multi-messaging. It's not just going to be one platform.
And finally, where is China's media market going from here?
I think you asked, your first question was about why these, why it's so popular. And I also think it's, one of the keys is variety. The variety of what's available online now is so much more, because the free-to-air television is made for the masses. And we don't have 1.3 billion single people. We've got lots of niche group with niche interest in there. And at the moment, there's this big push towards online channels and online distribution. Where I think it could swing back a little bit is as the TV networks develop their own media players. So if you look at what's going on, in other nations where there's now iPad players and they've got content available on demand, well, that's another factor that's driving people online in China, because it's on demand. They can download the show, they can watch it when they want, on the device they want, on the way to work, at work. So I think as soon as the TV stations also put all their formats available on demand, then that, they might be able to sort of like peg back a little bit as well. But it's going up, definitely.
Olaf?
And it's definitely shifting towards digital. I mean, like everybody would agree on that, definitely. And when I came to China actually in May, it was so funny for me to see that, for instance, like we in Europe, or especially like in Germany, we have only like, let's say, 7 relevant stations, 7 relevant TV stations, nationwide TV stations. And here you have like, I don't know, 2,000 different TV stations. So still, I mean, like coming back to the point, content is the very relevant thing. And I mean, like the government, as far as I can see right now, is like subsidizing, like especially like local channels to produce like high quality formats, and especially like on the digital side, you can see like Yoko is focusing on producing their own content and airing it and distributing it. So it's pretty good actually, and I'm really looking forward to the next few years in China, that the quality standard is going higher and higher and higher. And so like the media budgets are like shifting towards digital and towards TV. So I'm pretty much, well, in favor of this market.
Sylvia, you pretty much answered my question just now, but do you have anything to add?
Yeah, because I think there are twofold, seriously. Digital, 100%, but China is only about 75% penetration at this moment for, internet. So there's huge potential to develop that, and I don't see high quality reality show online yet. This is a huge potential. Other than digital, I think the other one to continue in development is like what we have been saying, quality production, quality content with all these satellites and TV stations, because there's 3rd tier, 4th tier, 5th tier in China that's still developing. And a lot of FMCG clients like our P&G, our client, is really looking into all these tiers and how to engage with the consumers there. Right now, you still have to go through TVs. And other than that, what are the other ways, like, to continue developing the relationship with this consumer? It could be on the ground as well. And branded entertainment is not just about content, it's about all kinds of entertainment to engage with your consumer in multi ways.
Mark, Sylvia, Olaf, thank you for being on the show. Now this wraps it up for us today. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or Tudor. You can also follow us on Weibo or Twitter. We'll see you again.